Hey, welcome to Keller Acres. Today's video is for first-time homebrewers. You've always wanted to make a beer. We're going to do it with as minimal stuff as you possibly can. The first time I did one was back in 2006. It was a Mr. Beer kit, and it was kind of a small batch type of deal. But it kind of got me hooked. It was a little intimidating at first, so I just want to make it a little more simpler for the first-time home brewer to give this a shot. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start with the kit. You get a kit back to your house. You're going to have some malt extract. You're going to have some malt syrup, some hops, and some grains. And then you're going to have some socks to put the grains in. Then you're going to have your hops. In this case, we're going to start off with some Columbus hops for the bittering hops. We're going to put those in for 60 minutes. Then we're going to go to Chinook. Love Chinook. Chinook for another, we're going to put those in at 30 minutes. Another Chinook ounce at another 15 minutes. And then we're going to do some Czech Says for 0 minutes. Right when we're done, we turn the burner off, we put on the Czech. For the grains, we're going to do a pound of Carapils. This is going to help with the body. You know, it's going to give you a little fuller bodied beer because we are doing such a small extract version. You want a lot of this. Same with the chocolate. This is chocolate malt. This is essentially malt that's been basically roasted for a little bit. Not to the extent of black, but this is going to be a very dark beer. We are going to open up the grain. In this case, it's Carapils, so I custom ordered this one just since I knew we were doing such a mini mash. What the Carapils will do is it'll add a lot of body to it, a little mouthfeel and some body. We're going to take this sock, put it over the grain, dump it out. We're going to do this, then we're going to tie it. Then we're going to do the same thing with what's called the chocolate malt. This is going to give it a little bit of body. It's also going to give it a very dark flavor. It's not chocolate. It's not the chocolate your wife loves. It's basically barley that's been kilned a little longer and gives it that dark color. So we're going to add a pound of that. Next, we are going to put 2 gallons of water in our little pot, and we're going to bring that up to 150 degrees. Normally what I would be doing is using the huge, the 7-gallon boiler over here. But since this is specifically for beginners, we are going to use the little guy. When you do your recipe, you are going to want to write everything down exactly how you do it. I just kind of described it, but I'm also writing down exactly what we're using as far as the brand, all the way down to the yeast. We're going to be using a 1056 Y yeast today, once this is all said and done. I also put the date up in the upper right. Today's the 19th of October. Okay, so we've got our pot here. No water in it yet. We're going to go ahead and put the sacks of the grain inside. Got the chocolate malt, we've got the Carapils, and we are going to fill this until it just covers the top with some water, straight tap water, and as long as your tap water tastes fine, it'll be good. But what I did do is I poured it into the carboy last night to let the chlorine settle out. So you do kind of want to let it do that. So if you are using tap water, pull it out at night, go overnight, let it evaporate, and then put it in. So go ahead and pour some in here. Okay, we have officially just covered the top. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this on, and we are going to bring this up to about 158 degrees. Okay, so 20 minutes have gone by. We're just going to get a quick temperature reading. I do have this on medium-low. When I poke one of the bags, go towards the middle of the bag, 132. So we want to get the middle of the bag up to about 150, so we're just going to let this sit for another 5 minutes and see what happens. Okay, it's been about 25 minutes. I've been checking on this. We're about to the right temperature now, to where I'm right about 155. So we're going to put the lid fully on. If you've noticed, I've had it cracked so it can breathe a little bit. We're going to put the lid fully on. We're going to turn the burner off. We're going to let this sit for about 30 minutes. Okay, essentially what we've done is we took the 2 bags of grain and brought them up to around 155 degrees Fahrenheit, and we let them sit there for about half an hour. So now what we're going to do is pull them out, throw them in the strainer, and just kind of let them drain here for a little bit. Really all we did is make tea, and a little bit of a mess over here. But we're just going to let them drain a little bit, and once that's done draining, we're going to bring this up to a boil and add the dried malt extract and the malt syrup. Okay, these have finished draining, so we are going to get this show on the road. Okay, you can see that's black. I mean, it's black. If you were here to smell it, it smells kind of like sweet roasted coffee would be about the best I could explain that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add a little more water. Okay, so we have close to probably 2 gallons of water in here right now, and we are going to go ahead and start adding the malt extract. Okay, so we've added some more water. So the pan's about, I don't know, not quite half full with the extract that we pulled off from the grains, and then the additional water that we put in. So what we're going to do now is start adding some of the malt extract. We're going to start with the golden malt extract syrup. Notice the burner's off. What we don't want to do is have the burner on and start burning this, because the syrup is heavier than obviously the water and the extract. It would go straight to the bottom and burn, which you do not want to do. In fact, once we do turn the burners on, you do want to stir it quite a bit just to keep it from, burning at the bottom. It's a good idea to warm it up. Good little tip. Get that warmed up before you start pouring it. Okay, so now that we have the syrup put in, we're going to go in with the dried malt extract. Again, the burner is still off. We're going to pour this in here. Once you pour that in, you're going to want to stir it up. Stir it before we put the next one in. That was the 1 pound bag. The 3 pound bag is going to be a little messier, so let's go ahead and stir this up. I don't know how well you can see this, but it's kind of chunky. We are stirring the first 1 pound of dry malt extract in there. It's a little chunky, it takes a little bit. That is because we have the burner turned off. But we've got it mostly to partly, we'll just call it that, mostly to partly stirred in. And we'll go ahead and put the next bag in. This is the 3 pound bag of the Bryce Golden Light dried malt extract. So we'll pour a little bit of it in. Spill some on the floor. Not much. Stir that in. And then we'll keep doing this until we get the rest of this bag in there. Okay, so I got that last 3 pound bag in. As you can see, it's still a little bit chunky. I turned the burner on, so we do have the burner on to about medium heat. So we're just going to continue to stir this now, kind of get the chunks out, bring this up to a boil. Once we bring this up to a boil, we'll get into the hop stage. All right, so we have all the extract mixed into the wort here. So the wort's basically all the grains, all the syrup and the dry malt extract in here. We put the burner on high. I can't hear it, but it's kind of growling down here, like it's getting ready to, like a little volcano ready to explode. I don't know if you can hear this or not. See it kind of moving. So we're just gonna skim off the protein to not have a chance of a boil over. Okay, well, no more than Probably 60 seconds after I was talking about a boil over, I was skimming off the foam at the top, and sure enough, I had a little. I mean, it was a little one, just enough to go over the top, come down there, and had to turn the burner off, pull this off to the side, do a little cleaning on the stove. Thank God the wife's gone, and all is good. So watch out for the boil over when you see the foam coming up and you know it starts making that noise. So anyway, just a heads up, it happens. Again, this is targeted towards the first time brewer. You're using a very little pot. I've never done this in my big pot over there. I am only using this little pot just to show you that yes, you can do it. It's super easy with the stuff you got, and go from there. This is making a 5-gallon batch for a first time home brewer using a smaller kettle for boiling. So this black will turn a lot lighter once we mix it into the fermented water. So just to give you an idea, we're getting really close to a boil. I think in about 5 minutes we're going to be adding hops. Okay, it's starting to come up to a boil now, starting to fester all over the top, bubble. We're going to go ahead and add our first, what we're going to call bittering hops. This is Columbus hops. The alpha percentage is 14%. That's kind of the alpha acid level. That's a fairly high bittering hop. So you got to remember we're going to overdo it a little bit, because when we dilute this into the water, the alpha 14% it's gonna drop quite a bit. So it'll make it nice and smooth. So we'll go ahead and drop an ounce of those in. Stir it up a little bit, and we are going to let that boil. It's going to boil for 60 minutes. What we're going to do is we're going to add another ounce of hops at 30 minutes left, another ounce at 15 minutes left, and then a aroma hop at 0. The 15 and the 30-minute hop are going to be more for flavor and a little bit more bittering. Those are the Chinook hops. It's going to add a little bit of a piney kind of citrusy flavor. So we'll let this go. Okay, so we've boiled the Columbus hops for 1 hour. Now we're going to go in with the Chinook. And as you can see, this is a total full rolling boil. Chinook hops, it's 1 ounce. Alpha is 10.5%. So we're just going to go ahead and drop that in. We've got 30 minutes left to boil. Our next addition is going to be in 15 minutes. Stay tuned. Okay, we are down to 15 minutes left in the boil. So we added the Columbus hops when we started the boil. We added the Chinook hops at 30 minutes left of the boil. And then now we're down to another ounce of Chinook hops for 15 minutes left. So when you get into the 30 and the 15 minute area, that's kind of 30 is more of a little bit of a flavor. 15 is a lot more flavor. And at the very end, when we turn the boil off, we'll get down to the aroma hop. Okay, we are at what we're going to call flash out here. We're going to turn off the burner. You can see how high it is right now. We're just going to turn that off. And we're going to throw in the last, what we're going to call the aroma hops. This is the Czech Saez. And you can see just by turning the burner off how much that's dropped already. I mean, that was a full rolling boil. Stir that in a little bit. Here in just a minute, we're going to drop it into the fermenter. Okay, so now that we essentially made the brew, now we have the fermenting carboy with some water in it. I don't know if you can see it kind of right there. It's about an inch or two above the black thermometer. We are going to dump the basically concentrated wort into that, and that's going to cool it down a lot more so we can get ready to pitch the yeast. Okay, here we go. We're going to put the funnel in here, and we are just going to funnel the beer in, the wort. Now that we've dumped the wort into the water, what you want to do is aerate it. The yeast is going to feed off the oxygen in the wort, and that's what's going to get you off to a really good start. So we're going to watch the temperature. Once that temperature gets down to 80 degrees or so, we'll go ahead and pitch the yeast. Okay, we just put the hydrometer in the flask, coming in around 1.07. That's pretty hot. Alcohol content's probably going to be somewhere close to, I would guess somewhere around 7%, but see what happens on the final reading. We are going to go ahead and what you call pitching the yeast. We're going to clip this corner. Try to make a little bit of a mess, but yep, we're going to make a little bit of a mess. Throw the yeast in and let it do its thing. So it's going to sit here for about, I don't know, 7 to 10 days. Okay, so we got the white yeast 1056 entered, and that yeast is going to sit back and turn those sugars into alcohol, creating carbon dioxide, which is going to come out of the airlock here. We're going to take some vodka. We're going to fill the airlock up so it's half and half. So that's a close-up of the airlock. The gas, the carbon dioxide is going to come up over here, down through the vodka, and then back up, and that's how the yeast is going to breathe. So I do have this downstairs in the basement. This is the unfinished area. In fact, it's our gym area. But anyway, we'll come back in a couple days and you'll see this thing bubbling away. Okay, it's 12 hours later and we have yeast activity. You can see where they're creating the carbon dioxide, and it's going right through the airlock as designed. Hey, welcome back. Today is finally bottling day. We brewed I think 3 Saturdays ago. We fermented for 1 week, and then I transferred it to the secondary, and it sat in the secondary for, pretty sure it's just been 2 weeks. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make the priming fluid, which is gonna be 2 cups of water, 1.25 cups of the dry malted extract. We're gonna boil that for exactly 10 minutes. Then we're going to put it into an ice bath and let that cool in the pan, with the lid covered, and let that get cooled down. So while that's cooling down, we're going to start cleaning the bottles and the bottling bucket, and also the bottle caps. We've got some black bottle caps. It is a black ale. It's probably going to fall into the black IPA range, but let's get started. So in my bottling bucket, I've got all the sanitation going on. I've got 5 gallons of water in here and 1 ounce of Star San. When I'm cleaning my bottles, these are already clean, but I put a little bit of the Star San in here, kind of fill up about 1 inch of the bottom. Take my scrubber, a little bottle scrubber, just go in here, clean that out real good. And stick it up on my bottle holder. Drip dry. Okay, we siphoned all the Star San out of the bottling bucket, part of the sanitation process, and now we are gonna, when I siphoned it out, I did put it in this 7-gallon carboy, just so we can save some of this for when I'm cleaning for the secondary here. So we'll put the tube in here, and we will go ahead and start siphoning from the secondary. we are going to take a sample. Don't want to splash this. We're going to take a sample in here for the hydrometer. Final gravity is about 1.02. Okay, we've got it transferred into the bottling bucket. We're just going to do the spigot. Assuming you're a first-time brewer, we're going to put that right in there. We're going to slowly turn this on and slowly fill it. If you fill it too fast, it'll get real bubbly and then it's kind of hard to fill. So fill it nice and slow. I do have a bottling wand, but for this video, we are going to do it old school. We're going to fill it up to about 1.5 inches, about 2 inches from the top. We'll want about 2 inches of headspace. And there we go. Okay, so now it's time to put a cap on the bottle. One little tip is you don't want to do it on your hardwood table. That's bad. The bottom of these bottles have little bumps, and when you're bottling, it will make a lot of bumps on the wood. So make sure you got it covered. Wife will kill you if you don't. I learned this by mistake. Go ahead, put your cap on. Come down with your capper. It'll center, and just push down. And you're capped. Okay, we are done bottling. You're going to find that you're not always going to end up with a 22-ounce bottle. My wife had these 8-ounce Grolsch bottles, and this worked out really perfect. It's a very dark beer. Okay, just a quick wrap up. We started off with a beer kit. We took the grains up to 150 degrees. We let them sit there for about 30 minutes. We pulled them out, put in the malt extract and the malt syrup, and then we added the yeast once it cooled down to about 80 degrees. Actually, I cooled it down closer to 74. But anyway, it sat there in the fermenter for 7 days. Racked it to the secondary. That sat there for 2 weeks. And then tonight we just bottled. So we bottled with using malt extract instead of corn syrup. A lot of people use their corn syrup. So we finished bottling, and now we're going to let it sit in the bottle for probably 2 weeks, somewhere right around there, and we'll give one a try. Thanks for watching.